What an episode of...
I can't believe we're sitting here all this time with this lovely woman sitting here, and you have not got the class to introduce me.
Hey, what are you talking
Maybe the
about?
guest's wife, but that doesn't matter. We're still human beings, and I never met this woman before.
Well, you will now.
I know him, but I don't know her.
Okay, that is Sue, and...
No, that's Eric.
That's Eric, that's Sue. Now, you know
See.
Eric is...
Sigh. Remember that?
I do. That was, what's his name? The voice of Bugs Bunny. Mel Blanc.
But don't get interrupted.
All right, but don't... We haven't even gotten to
Do the whole thing about his name.
All right.
How you
Eric,
screw up his name every time you
well,
introduce him.
I usually said Eric Tartaglione, but when he says it, because he's a genuine Italian comedian, Italian-American comedian who's terrific, who's one of the funniest guys on the planet, Eric Tartaglione. That's the way you say
No, wait, which is the funny one? Tartaglione or Tartaglione?
He's funnier when you say Tartaglione. For some reason, I don't know.
You're both words, both names, by the way, are incorrect.
They would be. But
They're
when
incorrect.
you say it, you say Tartaglione.
Right, because I anglicize it.
You anglicize
I anglicize it for an American audience or an English speaker. It's Tartaglione. But nobody
Oh,
says
yeah, you
that.
never say the G.
Yeah, right. GLI in Italian is like two L's in
But
Spanish.
when you say it like that,
Tartaglione.
I feel like I owe you a VIG. And I don't even know what a VIG is. What is a VIG?
It's something that the Italians get from everybody they run into.
Exactly.
That's what...
It's what we're entitled to.
Okay. Now, let's... Jackie the Joke Man Marlin.
Tartaglione.
That's Jackie.
Tortellone.
I am Peter Bales, and we are delighted to have this really cool couple. We have Eric, who is a terrific stand-up comedian, and his wife, Sue, who is...
A Tartaglione.
She is, but she's also...
Did you change your name?
He wanted me to.
So you're a Tartaglione.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
I am.
Well, you
That's
should be
so
proud. That's sweet. She is a psychic, and we're going to get a chance to talk to Sue. And I know several people...
Why would you talk to her if she knows what you're thinking?
I know. But I know several people who I really respect in comedy and out of comedy
Leaves me
who
out.
have told me about her and have truly been amazed at what she does. And so we were going to talk to Sue because I really don't know much about what a psychic really does and how it works. But you have got rave reviews from people
Thank you.
that I've spoken to. And your husband gets rave reviews as a comedian who is just so funny. And do you
That's
know...
the 8th time you've said that. You
Do you
must
know-
owe him money.
I don't. I'm just telling
He
you.
owes me the VIG.
I
That's
owe
what he
him
owes
a VIG.
And Jackie, you're never going to guess where Eric Tartaglione got his start in stand-up comedy. You're never going to guess.
Never. In a million years will you guess.
Where he got his start. Guess.
At the Neptune Pub opening for the Off-Hour Rockers, which was my band in the 70s, and we never even had a comedian near the stage. But I will do anything to not have to hear about your dopey, stupid comedy class.
Stand-up
When you told
university.
Eddie Murphy to go back to school, you meant your stupid comedy class.
I did. I think he could tighten up his punchlines. Eric took Stand-Up University, which you can, of course, reach at standupuniversity.com. I say that because it really irritates Jackie. And but I mean, he started our class and then just went
Like
out.
long ago,
He
that-
became a super
was your
success.
hair still brown when he
My
did
hair
it?
was probably brown.
It was browner, yes.
And your hair was exactly.
Yeah, exactly the same. No, but I have to tell you what happened to me. I was an actor for many years on New York and in Long Island. I did a play in the city that was horrible. Absolutely horrible. I looked at her and I said, I quit.
She was in the audience?
Yes, oh sure, of course she is. I quit and I said,
No, I mean, were you together?
oh yeah. And
Oh, so she wasn't in the audience as a member of the audience.
No, we were together at the time. We were married already.
yeah.
And you watched him. Well, you weren't bad. That just the
Well,
play was bad.
here's an idea of give you an idea of
Yes.
how horrible. We were wearing paper mache white jumpsuits, carrying tomato cans with the label taken off, so they were silver, and we were walking. Me and another actor doing a scene, could never look at each other, walking on an imaginary grid, putting cans down to sort of exemplify the uselessness of hard labor. This is how horrible it was. I said, I quit.
No, wait. Somebody had to write this.
Yes, that's
so
right.
somebody had to cast it.
Yeah.
And you just it sounds like you were probably taking whatever you could get.
Sure, because there was going to be industry there in the city.
Of
Of course. So
Was it in a place of note or
it was uptown. We were near Columbia University.
like a little bar, a little
It
stage?
was in a theater space. I don't remember now. It's 23 years.
Did you like look at
23
the other
years.
actors like, what the frig are we doing here?
It was off, way off. But yeah, the other actors, but they were different scenes. Guys talking about blowing rooms up.
He
Believe
got
me.
off stage and he says, "I'm not doing this anymore." I said, "Good, because I was going to take those cans and throw them at you."
So you're thinking, even if I go on stage as a comic, if I bomb really horribly, it won't be as horrible as being part of this.
Can I tell you something? I didn't even give it that much thought. What happened was I saw an ad. Become a stand-up comic.
Wait, there's one thing you did. Was this play a comedy?
No. No.
Okay.
I didn't know we
mean
do
to
comedy.
interrupt you.
We
Okay.
have a
No, no,
surprise. We have a surprise for you. Freddie, can you get the cans we got together? Can you give them to Eric? Because I want him to establish some of his stand-up memories.
See, Bales saves stuff like that, thinking that if you
right.
ever become huge,
Right.
he becomes Mr. eBay, and then he doesn't have to do the stupid comedy plays anymore.
Now, but Eric, you became successable rather quickly.
So, well, yes, what happened was
In
I took
comedy.
the
Let him
class.
finish the segue.
So I
Okay.
take the class. I said to my, why don't I really didn't give it that much thought. She said, go ahead. So I wound up taking the class. And
Oh, you saw an ad for his class?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the.
yes.
Oh, I didn't know you
So I
advertised.
said, I'm going to go.
Facebook.
That's
No,
big.
it was in Newsday. Because I think it was in the
Oh.
governor's ad. It's something like
Oh,
on the
okay.
bottom.
Like 23 years ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was over. That was early
That's
January
right.
or February of 2000. So I take the class, and at the end, first of all, my first 2 words in comedy, the graduation show. First 2 words. Peter Bales, everybody. And I thought I was so cool that I thought like to do that, like comics do that. Like those were my first 2 words. And then in the end, we got a certificate. And on the certificate, it said, go out and spread the laughter.
The gift of laughter.
And I said, you know what? I tend to think of myself that way as a performer. You're trying to spread joy in the world. So I said, that's what I'll do. And as a, again,
I
obviously
can
very
vouch
hard.
for Eric being a killer act.
That's the 9th time.
And I gotta ask Sue a question. 99+% of the time for comedians, it goes great. But sometimes it doesn't. Does Eric ever bring home a bad show and let it, be honest, I can see your face. Does he ever bring home a bad show and let it bother him?
Sure.
I think we all do.
They all do.
She's a
They all do.
psychic. She knows before he gets home.
I know when he's on a long road home, so I call, I have a feeling. Let him get home.
And she does say to me, it's going to be good. And she's right.
If I don't say nothing, I don't, but I'll say it's good. It's going to be really good.
Okay, well, you are a psychic, and by nature, I'm a skeptic, but I like to have an open mind, and I like to quote Shakespeare.
Tartaglione. I don't know if did I ever tell you that I used my mind to bend a spoon in high school?
No.
I used pliers too,
All right.
but I bent it.
I like to
Do you
quote
remember the guy
Shakespeare.
used to do that?
Yes. What was his name?
Uri Geller.
Yes, Eric.
If your wife's a psychic, you got to know. The average
doesn't
person
do
can't
that.
pull.
No, that's
Yeller
not.
out of
Yeah,
the
but
head.
that's not what I want to ask you what it is you do, but I want to say Shakespeare said, I'm paraphrasing, there are things we have not dreamt of in our philosophy. Horatio, that's in Hamlet. And it's basically like there's stuff out there that we don't understand, and you better keep an open mind.
In other words, to be or not to be, but it might not be yet. Kind of.
Kind of, thank
He
you.
just has to yes me to death, or I'll just keep talking. he knows how to shut me up.
How do you respond? So tell our audience watching at home, what does a psychic do exactly? And I know you have fun with it, but I also know you're very serious about it too at the same
But
time.
there's all different kind of versions, right? The people that
Well,
find people's.
I'm a psychic medium, which
Okay.
means I can also talk to our loved ones on the other side.
Wow.
A psychic, for me, I retrieve information in any way I can. Hear it, see it, smell it, dream it, draw it, write it. Medium, they will come to me with clear information. I'm not a psychic that will say, oh, your grandma's here baking cookies. I mean, I will, I don't care for those kind of messages. I give a thorough message. And that's what I do. I mean, a psychic and a medium, you can be a psychic, but you can be a medium but not a psychic, but you can be a psychic and a medium.
Okay.
Something like that. Some both. I've been working on both for a long time.
How do you know when it's
I don't get what's the difference?
A medium talks to the other side. A psychic talks to spirit guides themselves. They use their sense of smell, their sense of thought, feel,
So it's
touch,
broader.
feeling.
Psychic is much
Psychic
broader.
is everything. Medium is specifically to the other side, crossed over.
How do you know when what you're receiving is real? And do you ever receive stuff that's not real? And how do you know the difference?
That's interesting.
You've been on Facebook too much.
I have. That's because I advertise our comedy class. So that was all right. Go ahead.
So what do I know? It's because my intuition will let me know when it's real.
Okay.
And my intuition will let me know when I'm feeling. See, I feel more powerful than spirit. Spirits like the bad energy. So I don't let them dupe me. Like I will get
Really?
around that. Yeah. I'm not saying that. It's what happens. I go in very strongly that they're not gonna. I only work in white light, so that's how I work.
You work
So-
in
I don't let white light. I don't let any negativity come in, or spirits that are playing hokey games. I did have one spirit that did play a harsh game on me. And
How so?
well,
The spirit.
the spirit himself came to me, and he was a suicide. But during the reading, he's giving me bits and bits of information, and he had a red scarf on, very clear, wrapped all around his neck. And little by little, as he's talking to me, he's taking the scarf and he's unwrapping it slow, very slow, and I keep saying it, and I'm saying to the person I'm reading, there's a scarf he's taking off slow, and I can see horror in her face. I said, I'm going to just keep saying
This is
what's
a
happening.
relative
This
or
was a
somebody
spirit.
connected.
This is her good friend, a good friend of hers that crossed on because he killed himself. He committed suicide. Finally, by the time he undoes the scarf, the head came down off the neck. He decapitated himself. That's how he killed himself. So he showed
And that's
that-
how he did it?
That's how he did it, and that's what he showed me. Now I don't know nothing. I don't know her till she walks in my office, but he was, I want to say teasing. I think he was a harsh spirit. Other than
Why
that,
did she want to visit that?
Well, she just came for a reading. Whoever came or whatever came, came. And I said, I think I gave his name at the time. I have him in spirit. I have an uneasy feeling. He's wearing a scarf. And she goes, go ahead, go ahead. She was listening, yeah.
Now,
Well-
did you know that that's how he had done that?
After he showed it to me, yes.
But you didn't know that before that?
No, as it was happening, and I saw his head come off, and I saw, looked like a machete, I knew he took his own life by taking his head off.
This is the first time on this podcast that I've
I know
ever
it's a
had.
heavy story, right?
No,
Now
I've
that
first
that
time.
wasn't a coincidence.
First time I've ever had a panic attack on the show. But this is fascinating to me because
Oh, I thought you were going to say the first time you felt like committing suicide. Don't get me all excited.
Jackie and I are very close. But I'm amazed by this, and I'm almost afraid. Have people afraid to try and contact their relatives that have passed on? Because I'm a little afraid of them. I had mixed relationships with
I
my
would love to talk to my
parents.
Uncle Chet because he was a great kisser.
All right. I'm
Now, let's get to the question.
I don't even know how to react.
Were you
Let me-
already a
let me just
psychic
explain
when
something.
you guys met?
Yes. As a psych, well, yes, but in training still. As a psychic, you will definitely know. What was the question you just asked? Because he kept interrupting me, so I lost my train.
Well,
Sorry.
Sorry, Jack.
we're
What would
talking
you
about
want?
how you know when it's
But after
happened.
that, there was something I had a good answer for you, but I lost it. Okay.
Well, that's all.
We
Jackie
want-
does that.
What
my-
would you want?
Jackie does that a
He was
lot.
afraid of contacting relatives.
Oh,
no,
yeah, I
my,
want-
my work is for closure, to people to have closure from whatever circumstance happened prior to them passing, or they didn't get to say goodbye, or they had a hard relationship with their, whoever this was, parent or
Well, so somebody who
spouse.
has unresolved issues with a loved one.
Yeah, or don't know how they crossed, or just have a lot
But I
of
mean,
reasons they
you
will
can
come.
actually help with that.
Yes.
A huge sense of relief for somebody, right?
Yeah, we hug, we cry. I mean, it takes me a while to come down.
Sometimes it can take her a while to come back.
Now,
I just
I
go like
believe
this when
that.
I'm done, and he knows I can't right now.
Yeah, I mean,
And you are known as the spicy psychic.
Yes.
Explain that name.
Well, I'm going to age myself, but there used to be a commercial, that's a spicy meatball. And because not only am I psychic, I am pretty much a gourmet cook. So it kind of stuck, spicy psychic, and that's
But
what
spicy meat the ball was Boyardee, right?
spicy
No.
It was like,
I don't know what it
what
was.
No,
Who
it was a
knows?
good brand.
I don't remember.
I don't use that stuff.
no.
And I used, my email was spicy meatball for a while. So then I went to spicy psychic.
She will do stuff like one time she said to me, this is from your father's side. I said, okay. She says, who's Babudo? Babudo. And I went, oh my God, Pat Barbudo was my parents' best man at the wedding. I'd never mentioned him. I had completely forgotten about him. Never thought, but Babudo, and it jarred me. And
From the bathroom, I'm like, babe, who's Babudo?
who's, yeah. I mean, so-
He was hanging
so
around
that's-
me.
I got to know the circumstances of where and how you guys met.
Sure. Roosevelt Field, my first girlfriend introduced us in 1975. We married other people. We dated when we were 20. We married other people.
In our 30s
we
now.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Because wasn't clear what you just said. You were his first girlfriend?
No, my first girlfriend introduced us. In
And was you working Roosevelt Field
No, I
as
was
a
just out with my
psychic?
friends.
Yeah, but
no, I was
your
16.
first girlfriend didn't know that she was.
I was only 15 or 16.
we were
at the time.
14.
Oh,
It was
14.
1975. We were
And you
14
just happened
years
to
old.
bump into each other at the...
Yeah, we knew each other from the neighborhood. And
I didn't know that. So
hi. And
No,
he's like,
no, we knew each other from the neighborhood, but she introduced us initially.
oh yeah, and he's
We-
like, I want to get pizza. And I was
So-
like, he's not very
So
friendly.
if you met when Eric was 15, you knew him when his hair was not a subject of public conversation across audiences.
good hair,
He
by
had a
the way.
gorgeous coif.
Yes, I had a coif.
He had disco hair.
Yes.
Jackie, this is one of those things. You know, early adopters, people who try new technology before it's really perfected. I think,
there's a lot of your act.
yes. Eric, tell us, you really went for hair transplants
Right.
in the 70s?
80s.
80s, the
In the
80s. When
And
they didn't even.
they didn't go well, and I've got scarring in the back of my head, so I have no choice but to wear something. And I say it on stage, every set. I tell people very quickly, but I say I have no. I said I have plugs, and I've got. And that's why I have to wear it. That's why I have no choice. Otherwise, I would have shaved my head 25 years ago.
So
30
you
years
on stage, you put a wig over this?
No, this is bad enough. And I go up, and then
That's
you know
his
what?
weave.
And I
That's not real hair.
and by
He
the
talks
way,
about it in his act.
And by the way, the other night, I was at Uncle Vinny's Comedy
getting
Club.
nervous.
Okay.
I walk on stage. The guy goes, "Nice hair." As soon as I walk on, and I go, and I know I'm going to nail him because I'm going to be talking about it in a minute. And he
Well,
didn't think I would.
remember, years ago, you would get kind of hit with, snide remarks. So we were talking. It was like, just bring it up to them. Let you just bring it to them. So it's just out there.
I
no,
just
but
it
it's
was hard-
And it's a good
you
idea.
get
And
big
he's got
laughs
good-
on,
he's got
on
good
your
jokes for
hair.
it.
You know?
I get laughs. You know what it is? It's unusual. Not
It's
that many
great.
people, and you know what? That's comedy. This is my problem. This is my embarrassment. This is what I'm opening my chest up every time I go up there because I hate that I have to have this. And
So you
but
can't let it shine because you've got holes.
I've got scarring in the back of my head where they took the hair from to move it. So as a result, I don't have
Tell 'em the
a
joke.
clean. I've got a lot of jokes. I've got
Braille.
just. I said my hair looks like an ad for the Braille Institute. But that's
My
scalp.
and that's why. So I have no choice. And I'll be damned. I used to be afraid when I first would come up that people would notice or I wouldn't have a joke for it. But eventually I did. And it became a staple. And I've got a few jokes at the beginning, and I've got a bunch of callbacks throughout the act on it.
You just address something. I
that's
said the
comedy.
same
I thought it was
thing.
better.
There was a guy who was on the show with me at Just for Laughs, and he's a guy from Denver. I'll never forget him. His name was Roger Rittenhouse, and he was missing a hand, but he didn't have a fake hand. He had a prosthesis, a metal prosthesis with like the two hooks.
Oh yeah.
And he went on stage, and the first thing he did was tell two hysterical references to that and never came back to it, ever. Didn't even, not a callback. And you addressed it, and that was on the shelf, and then he was hysterically funny and dark and everything. And like, same deal, you know, it's the elephant in the room. You deal with it, and boom, and
But the thing is, that's a source of comedy, though. I wish he had callbacks.
Now, I one time had an eye infection, and I had to go on at a club with an eye patch. And I went up and I did a couple of pirate jokes. The audience laughs, and then they forget. They forget.
I didn't forget.
I
know.
make sure they don't forget. to
But
tell
I
you
mean,
the
Eric,
truth.
the way that you I talk about this in you know where, and
Did you really go on stage with a patch?
I did. I did. I had an eye
Can't
infection.
imagine
I
you
had.
with a parrot.
I didn't have a parrot. No.
So you only saw half the audience.
I.
You don't even know if the other half was laughing.
Oh, no. But at the end, when I turned like this, they were gone. But the point is this.
All of them or
all
just
of
the
them. They
half?
walked out.
Okay.
You know. But I mean, I think what you've done, and you should go see Eric. If you see Eric Tartaglione or his alter ego, Eric Tartaglione, you should go see him because you've taken something that you could perceive or you perceived as a weakness or something you were self-conscious about and made it a strength. And that's what you do. It is so funny. It makes you more likable, and laughs are genuine and real, and you're opening up to the audience. And I think that's very successful.
Thank
But
you.
you do comedy about.
On the way home, though, he's still wearing a wig.
No, that's the whole point.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole. That's the whole point. The
That's the
whole
whole
point
point.
is, but you know, Italian life. He covers it, and he's just so funny. And I wonder, you know, it must be what's the word I'm looking for? Energetic, loud, a lot going on in your household with a psychic and a stand-up comedian
No,
living.
we abandoned that. So you met,
So I
and
met
then
her.
years later,
We dated, and then we always found
you broke
each
up
other.
with your girlfriend and dated her.
No.
No, we just found each other through the years here and there, but it never really stuck. And then I
Okay,
moved
and
out
then
west
you went
for a
one way, you
while.
went
I
the other
moved
way.
away.
Right,
Yeah.
and we kept in touch. She would have a problem. She would call me. Actually, a friend of ours died. She actually called me out of nowhere, and
just
this
a
was years.
friend.
And
and
then
years
what's
later.
the time frame before you wound up back together?
We met in '75. We got together in '94. We've been there ever since.
Oh, that's terrific.
And we
Nineteen-
dated in
it was-
'81.
We'll be married 25 years this June.
Yeah,
That's
yes.
But it was
congratulations.
19
Yes.
years before.
Yeah, but from when the time we met, no, but we dated in '81, on the summer of '81. We dated, and then it was '94. We got together again, and we've never looked back. And yeah,
Yeah.
That's really, really nice.
Now, when you met at 15, you weren't a psychic yet.
no.
No, I always had the gift since I'm a little girl, but I went full bloom more into my
Now,
30s.
when you ran into her in '91, was she psychic yet?
She was doing it. What happens is, no, you know, let me tell. I'll tell the story. Should
You
I
don't
tell
have
the story?
Peter Bales' stand-up psychic college, do you?
No.
No, wait a minute. Here's
a
a
matter of
story.
fact-
She's not sure if, in fact, it could have been. I'm not sure which. It could have been Eddie Murphy's aunt. She used to work with Eddie Murphy's aunt.
Don't go anywhere. We are ending this podcast because we're going to start the next one
We-
with the
we
story
have
of
to-
Eddie Murphy's. I think he says
We
aunt.
got to have you on again.
Eddie's one of those
we
guys
want to
that
have
says
you on
aunt.
again. I just want to say a couple things. How do we contact you if you have an open mind, the spicy psychic? You wouldn't believe the things I've heard. People are amazed, and I don't use the word amazed easily.
Thank you.
On Facebook,
Facebook, The Spicy Psychic, and just contact me there, and I will be with you. I'm
and
looking to
Eric, where is the best way for you
Tell you what, my name is very long. If you want to catch my website, you can use my initials, etcomic.com.
E.T. Comic?
etcomic.com. I'm also on Facebook.
Shouldn't it be E.T. phone comic?
No, it should be, but
But
it's
there you
E.T. Comic.
Yes.
Okay, and you know what? Seriously, my favorite part of your act is, and it's not even a laugh line, and it's just nice. You have a daughter, and you adopted
Yes.
the daughter, and you look at the audience and you say it straight out, telling them. You're not asking them, and adoption counts.
Yeah,
And it's a nice story about how you love your new daughter. And I don't think I ever told you that.
No,
but,
you never did.
But it's a really nice moment in your
He's the
act.
best dad.
And you're the best dad. And I wanted to end on kind of a sentimental.
You just did.
You
Yeah.
just did.
That's
and I'm being
number one.
honest.
That is really nice and really wonderful. It's not real funny.
Okay.
If
See,
you were teaching a comedy class, you'd probably say, "Don't close."
no,
with
I would close with his hair, but
She does send me my own personalized Father's Day card every year. This year it said, "Dear Dad, I'm so glad you're my adopted father by all means, especially since you're short and bald and I didn't get your genes."
well, we just did end on a laugh.
Now,
All
now
right.
you're talking.
Now
He
you're
must have
talking.
went to
Bum,
that
bum.
comedy college with John Tucson.
Oh, now that is below the belt.
Yeah, that's
Let's-
my job.
That's right.
We love you, and we'll see you again. I'll probably be stuck with the same co-host next week, but we'll also be stuck with the same guests next week because
Thank you.
they're very interesting.
They are. We want them back. We will do that. We have Eric Tartaglione and Sue and Jackie the Joke Man Martling. I'm Peter Bales, and Woody. End it. End it.
Bye. That was a pretty good episode.
A new episode every Wednesday with me, Peter Bales, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, comedians, interesting people. Leave a comment. We'll get. What am I saying?
I don't know.
We're gonna get back to you. We will respond to your comment.
StandUpMemories.com. If you go there, it shows all the different
All
platforms.
Spotify. We're on everything.
Every Wednesday.
Stand Up Memories.
Every Wednesday.
A new episode.